Rafael Varane's days at Manchester United are numbered as his future seems to have been decided by Ineos, with the kingmaker Omar Berrada calling the shots despite being on a gardening leave at Manchester City. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb, and we've got an update concerning Man United today. Now, I'll kick it off with that because there's a lot of players we are still being linked with to come in as defenders or centre backs. The recent update from the transfer kingpin himself, Fabrizio Romano, has still confirmed that United are looking at signing a centre back as a major priority. In fact, it is even alleged United, if they do get the money, if we manage to beat the financial fair play man, we could go for two centre backs in the summer transfer window. That's how important this centre back department is for Manchester United. But who are they going to come in for now? The decision seems to have been made that Varane, who signed for Manchester United in 2021, going on to be one of our most important players when he's fit. There's no doubt about Varane and how important he is in everything we do, because certainly he's not a World Cup winner by mistake. He's not a multiple Champions League winner by mistake. He's an important player at Manchester United, but injuries do fetter him. He's only 31, that he feels, and with that, he feels he has got a bit of more football left in him, despite being linked consistently to Saudi Arabia. He said he made it clear he wants to retire at a club he has played for before. But surprisingly, he does not want to take a pay cut to start Manchester United. Now, he will become a free agent in the summer. United have got an option of triggering a one-year contract extension with him. They don't want to do that, and they don't want to tie him to a new contract if he's going to be earning the same £340,000 per week that he's earning. So what has happened now is that it seems the talks have stalled, and Varane feels at 31, I need to be valued. I can't take a pay cut to stay, despite me wanting to finish playing football at the topmost level. I cannot take a pay cut, so I would rather leave. So a decision, according to the latest reports we get, has been made, and Varane will leave Manchester United. Now, guys, get it right. It's not because he's not a good player. It is because, again, United has got to save money to be able to afford to pay wages of players because of the tight financial fair play restrictions or sustainability rules, Premier League sustainability rules. So if we don't do something, some players, we've unfortunately got to lose some players, and people get sentimental. We United fans are always getting sentimental with these players. We forget that there is a club to manage. There are bigger decisions to be made for the good of the club. So Varane might be sacrificed. He's old, that is one. He's 31. He's always injured. Of course, lately he has been consistent, quite surprising, by the way. I should give it up to him. He has been more consistent than I expected him to be at this point in time, but it's not enough. He's 31, guys. We need younger players. And if you think about all the centre backs Man United has been linked with since the last summer, from Kim Min-jae to Disasi, now we are linked with defenders like Bremer, Todibo, the likes of Antonio Silva. They are all young defenders. Jared Braithwaite, name them. They are all young. So the plan for Ineos is to bring in young players, and you know that these young players will not earn £340,000 per week, because Ineos are saying we are not going to be paying players anything about 300, those crazy wages, £300,000 plus. You must be special. You must be special. Not even Kobe, our special Kobe, is going to be earning that amount of money. So Ineos are putting things right. So Varane is one of those players who have been looked at and viewed as surplus to requirements. So guys, don't go out there and start frowning. Now, question is, will Manchester United bring in two new centre backs? Can we afford to bring in two new centre backs? Now, that's the multi-million dollar question, or multi-million pound question, because I mean, the fact that we are thinking about two centre backs, first of all, means that probably even Harry Maguire is a player that Ineos are considering to let go of. Of course, there has still been debates about whether we can afford to lose Varane and Maguire at the same time. As it is now, Varane is going. Trust you me, I think if we do get a right bidder, because Maguire has still got a contract running, I think until 2027, I think United are hoping to get some money from Maguire. The thing is, with Varane, it's a case of his contract expiring, and we don't want to trigger an extension, or we don't want to get him a new contract on the same terms. That's different. With Harry Maguire, it's not just us, talking to him. He has got a contract running, so but also we need to sell players to make money. So we need to sell him. Someone has got to come in and pay us reasonable money to get something out of him so that we can finance the transfer of, or the buying or the purchase of other players. So with Harry Maguire, it's different. And there are people who have been debating why, okay, instead of losing Varane, we would rather lose Harry Maguire. I think that does not make sense because the situation is different. The cases are different. With with Varane, you're looking at only uh, his footballing abilities. With Harry Maguire, it's both the football and the contract. The fact that he's still contracted with the club, you cannot just offload him easily like that. So that's why even last summer, even if we wanted to lose him, we couldn't because he did not want to go to West Ham, who were willing to take him. And trust you me, if he was willing to go, he would have been a West Ham player by now. So that's a bit of the situation that we are in as Manchester United. So, but the plan is United getting two centre backs. The only issue, though, is that the centre backs we are pointing at are a little expensive. You look at players like Todibo, who could come in for 40 to 45 million pounds. You look at defenders like Antonio Silva of Benfica, who is priced at over 100 million. You look at defenders like uh, Bremer, who could also be priced at, whose buyout clause is about 40 million as well. So that's a lot of money for a club that has got issues financially, that is trying to get the paperwork right. So that's a big job for Omar Berrada as a CEO, to cut down, to try and find the money to be able to finance the purchase of players, because that is very important. Trust you me, if that summer goes on and ends without United signing three, four marquee players, many United supporters will lose faith in everything we're doing. The beauty, though, is that the youngsters seems to be performing, but there are departments where we clearly have got to sign players. Clearly, we've got to sign players in certain departments. We've been linked with Ivan Toney, for example, as a striker, and I'll talk about him more in a different separate video. But we've got to be signing players. But Ivan Toney is priced at more than 70 million pounds. That's how much Brentford rate him. And now that he's looked at as a player who should be at the Euros, actually, for England, he's even going to be more difficult. I expect him to shine, by the way. I expect him to shine at the Euros. He's a different, hungry striker. If he goes, I expect him to score goals. So you see that it's going to be a bit tricky. United has got to find the money if we are going to get reasonable players to come and boost this squad. So it's still, we're getting in what you would call a tight situation with Manchester United. The situation is increasingly looking tight, and now I think the ball game is shifting from Erik ten Hag, the boss, to the Omar Berradas of this world, to the Ineos team of this, the entire Ineos team, Sir Dave Brailsford and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who, by the way, says he does not want to involve himself in a lot of the football decision. He has got his kingmaker, and that is Omar Berrada, a man he poached from Man City when no one expected it. It was not for him to still come and bother about what is going to be decided. Yes, he will sit on the board and listen and advise as a smart businessman who has succeeded. But when it comes to the gist of the football, he has got his kingmaker, and of course, the real kingmaker in Sir Dave Brailsford, to try and guide what the kingmaker Omar Berrada will do. So it's going to be an interesting. I honestly feel like where we're headed now is going to be exciting to see how things unfold. And I'll tell you, I have got a strong feeling that we might see something shocking in the summer. The moment Omar Berrada comes in the summer, Dan Ashworth, who are both on gardening leave, I'm thinking we are going to see a lot of exciting stuff at Man United. Things perhaps we could never imagine. I'm thinking that is what we are going to see. I expect it, but we've got to be patient and wait for all of that and see what happens. We've been linked with Frank Thomas, that is the coach of Brentford, the team we are going to play against on Saturday in the Premier League when it does return. So probably you might want to focus on that game and see who is better between the two managers, Erik ten Hag and Frank Thomas, who makes sense, because there are reports suggesting he's among the 11 we have been linked with that Ineos seem to look at as a better option than Erik ten Hag. To be honest, right now in the situation we are in, if Erik ten Hag left Man United, I honestly think I would feel bad. I've grown to have a soft spot for Erik ten Hag. I'm beginning to be endeared to him, and it's not entirely because of the football, but the whole story of Man United lately, and sum it up with that performance against Liverpool. I feel like if Erik ten Hag was sacked now, I think I would feel bad in a way. I don't think I would say the same a couple of months ago. I think it would be different. But right now, to be honest, I've got a soft spot for Erik, and I think I would want to see how he would perform under a new structure. I would want to see, honestly, all of us in our heart of hearts, we are like, I mean, how long are we going to be sacking and hiring managers? For how long shall we do it? I honestly feel a bit of sympathy, and I will try to be this macho guy who doesn't want to get sentimental with players and coaches with Man United. But with Eric Ten Hag lately, I feel a bit different. There is something in him that perhaps we are yet to see, that if we give him that right structure, maybe, just maybe, he could be the guy. He could be the Moses, the biblical Moses, who will lead the Egyptians to the promised land. He could be the one. Is Eric Ten Hag our Moses? My name is Webb, not Moses. I'm Webb Daniel, another great man in the holy books. Subscribe to the United Hot Sports.